Well, it's my time to shine again, guys. Welcome, finally, to the Resurgence, the first round of the day here. We got Miguel versus Dark, as you guys already know. We got Miguel playing in blue as the Khmer. Very solid civilization right off the bat here. And his opponent is going to be Dark, playing as the Goths, and he's playing in purple. Goth versus Khmer seems like a pretty mismatch of civs. I'd heavily prefer Khmer, but here, take a look at the map here, Jordan. Which one would you prefer on a map like this?
You know, if I have, we talked about it regarding the open maps. Khmer should always be better in these kind of situations. However, on this kind of map, you will see a lot of militia or men at arms, and that's definitely something where Goth is a little bit favored, as they have their militia a bit cheaper compared to other civilizations. So I'm pretty sure Dark is going to do something, sneaky there with the infantry play here. But overall, I just prefer Khmer because their economy is just so much better. Alright, if you're looking at the map, I'm pretty sure we have not watched that one yesterday, have we?
No, I have seen this map, but not yesterday. I've seen it in past series, and it's a very interesting map. I actually really like it.
Yeah, because in the south side we have the fish there on the shallows, right? But it's not too much fish, right? So it's not like if you have that fish, you 100% win that game. Then in the middle we have a lot of shore fishes, and then on the northern side we have a lot of trees with also zebra spawning. You know, I feel like this is one of these rare maps where there is no meta. Like, there are so many different approaches to this one. It's really hard to say, okay, this is the best strategy. Hera, when you look at the map, what is your gut telling you there? What would you go for?
The first thing I noticed as well is that the fish at the bottom, it's on a shallow. That's a very interesting point, because that means land military can snipe some of those fishing ships. Which is very interesting. So there's also no shore fish, so it's hard to keep a villager there. You could take the deep sea fish, but it's not as efficient for the villager. So right off the bat, I'm thinking that the best approach is you have two choices. Either you go for a dock on the side and then you play defensively, or you ignore the dock on the side, you don't make anything, and then you go straight for the middle and you play very aggressively by upping faster. Which one do I prefer? I would personally prefer the one with the dock and the defensive approach.
Me as well. Because it feels like when you're going for the dock, you always have a little bit of a fishing boost, which always helps. And if the opponent does not do that, then he feels like kind of forced to deal damage to you, because otherwise, if he's not able to do so, he will be falling behind in that regard. So
and I think a concept in Age of Empires that's like not talked about enough, but it's so easy to play when your opponent is forced to do damage, because like, even if you think about when you're microing and you have 5 archers versus 5 archers, if he's running at you, it's so easy to micro back and then hit and then run back, but it's hard for him to like hit and then chase you. So in general, when your opponent has to do damage or is forced to do damage, that makes it a lot easier for you to play here. So that's what I would say as well. With the dock, big advantage there to get that. And we are seeing Miguel going for that, but Dark not going for that. He's going for the militia.
And Dark is capitalizing on the Goth advantage here, that the infantry is costing a little bit less here. And he is indeed going for the middle right away, going for the short fishes. And I'm really curious how this one is going to be played out, as Miguel will have the advantage on the water, as he has more economy units sooner to get in the resources. But obviously Dark's villagers are going to be collecting the food much faster than Miguel will be able to with the sheep, for example.
Yeah, and we are seeing the 2 militia drush here.
Hera, what do you think about that?
We spoke about this a lot here. But I will say in this situation that it kind of makes sense, because you can get a little bit of pressure and then you don't invest too much. So I can see the logic on this map in particular. But as you can see, Miguel just easily defends against that by just walling up the wood line. Not anything too crazy there for him.
I'm just wondering, Hera, if you go for the dock, there are 2 approaches there. The first one is you build 3 fishing boats, and then Barrack followed up with 2 or 3 men-at-arms then. Or do you go straight for archers here?
Straight archers. Not even a question for me. Forget about it. I think if you're playing dock, you don't want to, especially with Khmer, you don't want to make a barracks, and you don't really want to invest into anything too early. You want to chill a lot.
Okay, so I like what Dark is doing. He was trying to get some damage done onto the wood of Miguel. Miguel has scouted, or had scouted the barracks, so he was preparing the walls. And now Dark is utilizing his militia to its fullest potential, just trying to chase those fishing boats. And you know, Hera, this map kind of reminds me of the Hidden Cup map called Cup, where you had...
I was just gonna say, something with the militia brought me back, like, I was like, wait, I've seen this before, you know?
Yeah. And this makes things also very interesting, because it's not something we have seen too often already in our Age of Empires 2 careers, so... Yeah, makes things a bit more complex.
I actually think this whole idea of having marsh on maps makes it a lot better for hybrid maps, in my opinion. It makes it a lot more balanced between land and the ships, because ships are always insanely strong versus land units, but if the land units can come out faster than the ships, then it kind of creates that nice balance. So really liking this kind of new trend here. We are seeing Miguel adding a second dock, by the way. Very interesting. I would not expect that.
Yeah, and you know what kind of bugs me? If we look at the scouting information of Miguel, he doesn't even have an idea that the Dark is not on water yet. So he's adding a second dock without having that having that information, and that's not something I'm the biggest fan of, as you usually want to react to what your opponent is doing. And if Dark had not docked here, then obviously one dock would have been enough. But in this case, he's a bit fortunate. Well, maybe his experience it says, okay, it is obvious that he's going to go for that. But yeah, Dark indeed is committing heavily to water here.
That's a great point. Like, it almost feels like we don't know if Miguel got lucky and just like is randomly grushing and he's gonna get lucky and Dark is grushing, or did Miguel just somehow expect this? But in general, guys, especially in a tournament on maps that are unknown what the meta is, make sure you're scouting. Make sure that you know exactly what your opponent's doing so you can react appropriately. It's more calculated. It's more consistent. But nonetheless, range now for Miguel. Dark is now on 5 militia with a range himself. Very aggressive, it seems, both on land and water from Dark.
Yeah, I have to say, Dark is having a very smooth economy, or is a very smooth build right now. He was able to crack out 5 militia. I would be... Okay, now the man-at-arm upgrade is coming in. At this point, I'm a bit torn apart. Does it really make sense to go for the man-at-arms? Because if you're investing in 5 militia, you obviously want to have them, but it feels like it's also wasted, as the 2 archers are already keeping them at bay. So, I feel like it's a mistake.
Yeah, I think if you ask me, the only place this makes sense is if he's planning to go for a long-term feudal push. Like if he goes for a lot of skirms and then the men-at-arms can use to break buildings, then it makes sense. But losing a lot of HP on them early, it's really hard to do any damage with them now, because you already have 3 that are like half HP. So definitely agree with you there, Jordan. Not a fan of how the execution was around the strategy. But let's see, skirms are out now. Might be a little bit better of a push. But Miguel going for the counterattack, interesting.
Yeah, he's using the 4 archers to loop around on the north-hand side, which means that he is going to be very exposed to the early aggression which Dark is going for right now. And that tower, no chance this is going to go up. Yeah, like it should never go up there. Dark is using his men-at-arms, and this tower is not going to happen. He canceled it in time, so he didn't lose the 125 stone. And we are having the same issue again. The skirms are not really the biggest threat. And I'm surprised he deleted the walls that early there.
Yeah. The walls were maybe bugging him and going in and out of the wood, but definitely very risky to delete them when there's men-at-arms on the field. Also, I kind of hate that tower as well from Miguel. I understand it lets him take the gold. That being said, though, he is killing a villager from Dark over on Dark's base, who's kind of panicking to this now. Yeah.
Beautiful move by Miguel, killing 1 villager, and in all of that, he's also causing so much idle time, adding the 2nd villager death as well. In the meanwhile, we have a fight on the water as well. Dark seems to be having the little advantage in terms of numbers, but 1 villager repairing the fire galley, while the 2 fire galleys from Dark are exposed here. And Dark... go ahead.
Did you see what happened? One of the fire ships from Dark was hitting the dock of Miguel. A lot of people don't know this. Fire galleys, they shoot what's in front of them. If there's a dock in front, even if you're right-clicking something behind it, the dock will block the damage. So that was really bad from Dark there, actually.
That is always so painful, and that's... I cannot emphasize how much I dislike the fire galley meta. It just bothers me. It really bothers me.
It's really annoying. The repair war, the villager nearby, the demos, like it's... I don't like it as well.
Okay, so we have Force Color coming in for Miguel, and he is adding a stable now. So I have to say, I like both players' approaches here. I think they're both playing extremely solid, very smooth. And for me, right now, it feels like it is a very equal game, even though both players went for completely different strategies.
Yeah, I think like this kind of game is the hardest to play, by the way, because you have to fight on water, you have to fight on land, and the land fight, there's no walls, so it's like you gotta be everywhere. And I'm very impressed by how both players have been playing it so far, as you said earlier. I will say though, I kind of like how Miguel is transitioning now into the stable. He's got the archers out, a couple skirms. Stable is a very natural switch. It helps him in castlage with knights, but also in the feudal age now with a few scouts, gets him mobility and a little bit more of a skirm counter as well.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Dark seems to be having the upper hand right now on water. I don't like that he is not repairing the fire galleys. I think that's something he could have done now. And now the 4 skirms are going to be pushed back by this one scout here. And now Dark, he has the full information that his opponent is indeed committing to scout a bit. And I'm wondering what his response is going to be. He's not adding any spears yet. Yeah, in the meanwhile, he's trying to wall up. So if he is able to wall himself up, he should be fine in theory.
This is huge. I think this is something that you do well, Jordan. If you're not fully walled in the start, you have to somehow find a way to fully wall at some point in feudal age.
Yeah.
And continue securing your base. So, guys, obviously we talk about, a lot of people complain about the walling meta and whatnot, but at this point, it's definitely very important to get it down because you want to slow down the game and not take as much risks as if you stay fully open. So I think that's something you do really well as well, Jordan. Just kind of re-wall up as the game, continues to go further and further, and that's something that Dark is doing really well here. Even having a stable though, not sure if I like the stable. I will say.
Stable. I don't like it at all because I'm just thinking long term. You don't really want to go into the stable against Khmer with Goth. Mainly, you want to focus on the infantry as Goth, as you have. That's where all your benefits of your civilization lies. And I'm just wondering, like his economy balance completely seems off. He has 700 wood in the bank, and that's something which should have been invested into something else. The market would be his biggest friend right now, and yeah, we still see Dark seeming to have a little bit of an advantage on the water. But it feels like both players are trading blow for ball here.
Oh my god, Miguel almost got in with 5 archers on the land. Last second quick wall from Dark, and now bringing back the skirmishers. Man, it's things like this that can lose you the game, but Dark kind of bit of lucked out, bit of good reaction from him. And now he's in a good position with the skirms, as you said, winning on the water, or at least doing okay on the water. But I feel like Miguel now is starting to take the lead on the water, actually. It feels like maybe the 2 dock is not enough from Dark here.
Yeah, and I mean, that was always the risk which Dark went for. He went for the fishing boats instead of fire galleys because he thought he had one water already, and he was a bit of a miscalculation here. And now he's using a demo on a 10 HP fire galley, so that's not the most efficient way to use that. And in the meanwhile, Hera, Miguel's fishing boats are active, alive, and been working since ages already.
Yeah, and that's 4 fishing boats constantly bringing in the food, of course. Miguel up to castle age, 30 seconds faster than Dark, but it shouldn't matter too much. The only thing that will matter is Dark will probably have to abandon the middle. All that short fish he's been taking, it's been nice, but I think he probably has to abandon it if there's an earlier castle time from Miguel, which he's going to see in a second here. Miguel's on 2 stables, and Dark, I don't really know what his plan is. I mean, he's got 1 stable, 1 barracks. It's not very clear what he wants to do here, but he is on stone.
He's heavily on stone. What I don't like about his economy right now is that he's lacking the farms. I think that's something he needs to add as soon as possible. Yes, he still has the shortfish, but as you mentioned, Hera, he's going to be pushed back right now, and his reaction must be now, run all the villagers to his main base and escape as soon as possible, because otherwise that is going to be such a problematic position for him, because Miguel is going to pump out knights. And look, he has 7 knights queued up already.
Bro, he wants to kill someone in game, of course. But I was just gonna say, how is Dark so chilled? Like, your opponent gets castlage in your face, and he's staying there with the villagers. He had to dip a lot earlier. Like, he's gonna lose 9 villagers. That's the experience, Jordan. That's literally the experience right there to know to run in that situation.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, these small things can either save you the game or lose the game, depending on how you decide there. And yeah, he's just losing, in my opinion, those villagers completely unnecessarily. Maybe he was a bit too greedy there, wanted to have the shortfish anyhow, and now he's going to have a huge disadvantage in terms of economy, trailing down 5 villagers. and he is switching now to the pikemen. But, you know, these are the right moves now. But I'm just wondering, you want to have also units to be able to kill your opponent's economy, because especially with Khmer, he is going to run away with the economy there.
Yeah, and especially after having lost 4 villas in the center. Dark is starting to win on water. We're going to keep you guys updated on the situation on water. It looks like Dark is winning it. Maybe Miguel can turn it around. So one thing I will criticize from Dark here, something he's got to really think about, is he made the 2 stable, I think, without even thinking. Because if you ask Dark's a smart player, if you ask him, would you want to go knights in this situation versus Khmer, who's going to be up faster and already has the stable down, he will say no. But in this case, he went 2 stables and is barely using them. So just such a miscalculation there. And it's if anything, it's slowing down his transition into the infantry that we talked about earlier. That's where he needs to be. So definitely a bit slow, but he's doing the right steps now. Those villagers in the center, though, Miguel is feasting. Feasting, my man.
Oh god, he's losing so many villager Darkses, and now he's garrisoned into the tower, but the tower is only going to be so much time. And also, maybe Dark has a plan to go Knight Pike, but even that, I'm not the biggest fan of against Khmer, because they can do exactly the same, and most likely they're going to have more numbers as they have more economy. And also, if you go for that strategy, don't put so many villages on stone, because stone doesn't give you anything right now.
Yeah. Dude, stone is such a bait resource. Like you get baited into thinking it's really good, but it's so bad in the wrong situation and so good in the right situation. And in this case, it's not bad to get a castle if you're Dark here, but Huskarls are not a good unit against knights. It's only good once you have a lot of pikes. So then your opponent goes crossbow, and then all of a sudden you have Huskarl, something like that here, guys. But in this situation, Miguel is on pure knights and monks.
Exactly.
Huskarl is not the right choice.
And Huskarls is only the response to ranged units, and that's not something Miguel is doing right now at all. So that was definitely a misread by Dark. Obviously, it's very hard to say, and as we see the entire screen. But yeah, a bit of a misread here. We have Miguel trying to batter his way into Dark's economy, but Dark going for the reaction castle right now, and he should be able to be fine without losing any villages.
Yeah, not bad at all. Castle will help him. It's okay so far. He's got the monks behind the walls, so he's going to be kind of safe for the time being. The danger here is that back home, guys, Miguel, he's adding his 3rd town center. He's doing just fine. He's also somehow holding the water. Like, the water has been such a confusing mess for me this game. But it looks like Miguel is now winning it.
Yeah,
Dark is maybe giving up.
He's winning, and he's now committing to War Galley as well. It's not... I don't really like spending resources on that right now. I feel like the water is not going to be important now anymore anyway. And I would much rather use the knights to kill the fishing boats and secure the water instead of using the resource there and spend on Fire Galley there.
Yeah, no, 100% agreed. I think, I'm not sure if I give up water too early or if most of the players are giving up water too late. Because, like, I often see, not just this game, but in general, people committing on water when there's not a lot of things to be, like, there's not a lot of fish left, you know? And they're still committing Fire Galley after Fire Galley. And always seemed weird to me. You gotta find that sweet spot where you can stop making units and it's not gonna cost you anything, you know?
Yeah, and no one can really tell you what is the best balance there, because it's just depending on so many different situations, and you have to have a lot of experience, and you have to have a feel for what is right and what is wrong. So very hard to balance.
Best way to put it, it's just a feel for it. There's no like recipe. No one has the numbers on it.
Yeah.
Oh, I think we're seeing longswords now from Miguel, who, by the way,
is he? He's going for scale middle. What? Oh yeah. Nice.
Town bell, real quick. Yeah, little misclick there.
Yeah. I'm just wondering, like in terms of long term, I would much rather have Goth obviously compared to Khmer, as with the Goth cheaper fast spam of infantry in late imp, that's just going to be very hard for Khmer to stop. I'm just wondering, what is the best transition to go for right now? As Dark, he is really well positioned in the back. I think what I would do right now in Miguel's situation, try to go up to the Imperial Age a bit faster, switch to Arbalest, and then try to push with Arbalest, Knights, and Trebuchet.
Yeah, question for you, Jordan. Do Khmer have champions?
I unfortunately was about to ask you the same question.
No, I think they don't. They don't.
They have two-handed swordmen, don't they?
Yeah, they have two-handed swordmen. But so like, that's the thing. Like, Miguel is committing on a unit that is so bad with Khmer
Yeah,
compared to Goth.
yeah, two-handed swordman. Yeah.
And I think that they're even missing the last armor on the infantry, I think. So this is actually not the right transition if you ask me. I think if Dark sees this, all he has to do is defend, try to get the Imperial Age, and then go champions of his own, and he should be fine with Pike and champion here, or Pike longsword.
Yeah, totally. And Hera also, Khmer don't have supplies, and they don't have squires, so their infantry is almost as bad as Huns.
Not bad. Okay, fair enough.
Now I equalized.
Yeah, that was a good one. Listen, we can play an island game after this if you want. Listen, I think that, as someone who's been experienced in this situation, with longsword transition as Huns or Khmer, I can tell you it's not a good idea. So I'm very curious to see. Maybe Miguel, maybe I was doing it wrong. Maybe Miguel can do it better. We shall see. Longsword is on the field right now, though.
I feel like I had to do it after the micro comment from you on me yesterday.
For sure.
So I was like, oh, I still owe him one.
This is part of the deal, though. We don't bring each other on just to cocast. We bring each other on to see who's talking about what. You know what I mean? So it makes sense. We gotta know what the vibe is like between us, of course.
Yeah. Okay,
that's the beautiful part about Age of Empires, of course.
Yeah. Okay, so Miguel is going for handcart now. I love that one because that is going to boost the economy so much. And he has 4 TCs already. So economy-wise, he looks extremely good. But we have Dark going up to Imperial Age right now. And he is fully safe at home. I don't see how Miguel is going to ever break him. And, Dark is that kind of player who really excels, especially on those defensive kind of playstyles. So,
yeah, agreed.
Is there a gap between the barrack and the gold mine?
I don't think so.
I think so.
Maybe, man.
I guess there is. Let's see.
There's a gap now with the house.
Let's see.
Oh my god, Miguel is completely griefing the knights.
What? Wow! Man, he's losing all of them. Yeah, that kind of hurts. That hurts. And now Miguel, he's going for the cast in the middle. And this is a beautiful example where we can learn that even though if you're ahead, even though if you have the much better economy, it still makes sense or you can still lose games if you make the wrong calls. And that's something Miguel has been doing right now. And he's literally committing to a unit which doesn't make too much sense in my opinion. And now he's going to be really struggling against Dark here, I feel.
I actually prefer Dark's position. Listen, I think the only bad thing for the only good thing for Miguel is that he's got 4 relics. Like that's the only thing I would say. Man, Dark has to be careful. But other than that, like Goth just hard win from here. What do you think about Ballista Elephants actually as a unit? They got buffed, remember, recently, +2 attack. Ballista Elephants feels like a good choice for Scots as Khmer.
I'm just wondering how well are Ballista Elephants doing in mass against Huskulls? I think they should be fine. Right, because the Ballista Elephants, they're getting so much damage output. And if you have, like, let's say 30 Ballista Elephants in one spot, it's going to be so hard to kill them. So I think it must be the choice for Miguel in the long run.
Like, I think, obviously here, the longswordsmen are looking okay for the time being, because, Dark had mostly pikemen, but as soon as now Dark is switching into, like, 200 swordsmen, a lot of these, infantry of his own, he's going to start taking these fights quite nicely, and I think Dark is fighting a little too early here, to be honest.
Yes.
But, yeah, that's a bit weird. Wait for your upgrades, my man.
Yeah, he needs to wait for the upgrades. That would have helped him so much more. He maybe would have lost 2 or 3 villagers, but that obviously would have been worth it. And now Miguel, he's trying to commit as much as possible. He has a huge population lead. He has also the entire map control, so maybe he can still make it work here. And yeah, Dark is really struggling right now. Obviously not having any imp technology right now in terms of the castle, so his infantry is not being produced faster here. And Dark really needs to desperately try to buy himself time here, otherwise Miguel will just steamroll him.
Yeah, you said it best. Like, it's just buying time for Dark here. Miguel is stronger because he's got bigger economy, but the units, much more in favor for Dark. Remember, his units are much cheaper, no supplies for Miguel. But he's got to take better fights. You cannot, if you're massing a unit, guys, give up the ground, give up the stable, give up the house, give up a couple villagers, mass your unit,
Who cares about these buildings here? Like, I would rather just fall back and get myself 30 two-handed swordmen and just lose a couple of space than just throwing them out there. You're just going to, the more units you're fighting with, the more efficient you're going to be as well, so...
Yeah, very, very true. Like, if you have a stronger unit, if you have 40 versus 30, the stronger unit will shine a lot more than if it's 10 versus 20, for example. And of course, it's just simple math when you think about it. But yeah, now the momentum is shifting.
Yeah, the momentum is completely shifting. And just a few seconds ago, we had the situation where Miguel was up 165 population against 120. And if we look at it right now, 157 for Miguel, 150 for Dark. So he's equalizing the situation. And from here now on, it feels like Miguel is going to have an uphill battle against Goff here. He's also being trapped down by Dark. And now Dark is going for Blast Furnace right now as well. So, Hera, would you rather go for champion upgrade or for the faster infantry spam right now?
Champion for sure. Because you're not even close to 200 pop right now. I think it has to be champion. What about you?
I have no answer. I really? Yeah, it's going to be a tough one because I really don't know. I think also the upgrade costs 600 wood if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's a different cost for sure.
Yeah, so I would also make it a bit of dependent on what resources I have right now.
Yeah. Crop rotation for Miguel, what is that? That's not a good tech to get.
No, that's definitely a waste in my opinion. Okay, so Miguel is pushing back. He has 200 population right now, and Dark only 140. What's going on here?
It's just lack of patience. It's just all he had to do is mass. All he had to do is mass and not fight. But he tried to force it. He completely misread the situation. If he just waited for champion upgrade, which is now on the way, by the way. If he just waited for that upgrade to kick in and just continued to mass near his castle, Miguel can never fight him. But the problem is Dark moved out too fast, too early, and Miguel punished him, and now Miguel has the population lead, winning with literally the weaker units.
Yeah, for sure. His macro seems to be a bit superior here. I also love how Miguel is taking care of the entire map, building castles at the most important areas, and now he's really expanding so nicely. I think Dark is going to have a really hard time to redeem himself in this game.
Yeah, and I think somewhere Winchester's shaking his head because I think Winchester loves his Goths, and he would love this position as the Goth, and seeing Dark... Dark, it sounds like we're overhyping it, guys, because Miguel, you might be watching this thinking Miguel had the score lead the whole time. Why are we talking about Dark being in the commanding position at some point? Miguel had the harder game just 2 minutes ago if Dark had just played a little bit more conservative here, guys, for sure. But at this point, it does feel like Miguel is snowballing fast enough to where Dark can't keep up.
Yeah, and it also was surprising, right? We were at the moment where both players had around 155 population. And at this, I just felt like, okay, Miguel has no chance to win this game anymore if Dark plays it right. But as mentioned, Hera, he was a bit too impatient, didn't fight with his fully upgraded units, and therefore he was just not able to utilize the potential which he had. And due to that, he's now trailing behind 35 army. And from here on, I think Miguel is just going to steamroll him.
Yeah, no, I think the time of Dark to hold and come back, I think that ship has sailed. I think that the time is over. Yeah. And now Miguel can win with whatever units, maybe Hussar, maybe 200 swordsmen, anything he wants will be fine here. Yeah. Well played to him for sure.
You would go for Hussar, right? I don't even have to ask you.
For sure. I mean, I have 1,000 gold in the bank, but Hussar is looking very, very tempting right now. That's for sure.
No surprise. Okay, we have... Yeah, go ahead.
I was just going to say, like, Hussar Ballista Elephant, what do you do as Goths? Like, Halberdier, it's going to die. Hussar Ballista Elephant.
I think the best bet you have is go for Halberdier and the unique unit, how's it called? The Haskell? Exactly. Yeah, but I don't think you are going to win it. You will... Yeah, it's cheaper from units-wise, but I don't think you can kill the army being Goth.
Yeah, I think Goth has a lot of trouble, especially when the map control is in Khmer's favor. Yeah. But listen, we see a lot of options here. It's AoE, it's a strategy game. It's not just one approach. There's many, and Miguel made it work with this particular approach here with the 200 swordsman and a few scorpions. And Dark is holding on now, but it's getting worse and worse, guys. 200 pop for Miguel, only 108 now for Dark. And he has very little space to work with. Forward casting now for Miguel. Trebs are out. Looking very bad here. It
feels so weird that Miguel is beating the Goth player with Khmer two-handed swordman. It just feels so wrong.
Yeah.
But he somehow managed to pull it off anyhow. So, yeah, very surprising. I feel like Dark definitely has done some misplays here. And now it's just a matter of a few seconds, I think, until he surrenders. I'll make the countdown. 3, 2, 1. Oh! Whoa! Nice!
The nerd, Jordan.
I didn't expect that one.
You're so happy.
I love that. I love that.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Yeah, man, a good game. To be honest, like I almost want to replay this game and this matchup just to see what happens if we do things a little bit differently. Because it feels like there was a lot of mistakes. Granted, it's a very messy game. There's a lot of mistakes from both sides that just kind of made the game very, very odd. Which it's a very interesting matchup though. Anyways, a really fun game. Yeah. Miguel taking it game 1 here for him. That's huge in a best of 5 to get a lead, to get a win on the neutral map. And now you move on to Dark's home map, of course.
Yeah. I feel like if I had to point out one big mistake as well, which we haven't addressed at all, was I felt like Dark went up to Imperial way too fast. With the units he went for, you don't need to rush it that much, because it feels like if you rush the Imperial Age, then you will be lacking the economy to be able to really spam the infantries, right? So I think that was one of the big issues. And also if you look at the economy stats, Miguel collected 70,000 resources, while Dark only collected 55,000. So there's a huge discrepancy as well.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point. I think if there's one player that does this concept really well, it's actually MBL. MBL does really well with Goths to not go up to Imp too fast. He just kind of chills in Castle Age, masses a lot, and then all of a sudden when he gets Imp, boom, he's got the unique tech in Castle Age, he's got Champion, he's got everything. And it just feels impossible to play against that. Something that Dark as well could have done better that game, for sure.
Okay, so game number 2, I'm loading into this one.
Yep, let me get in there as well.
Oh.
Welcome back to game number 2. We've got Miguel leading 1-0 in this series between Miguel and Dark. We got Dark playing in blue as the Tatars, and his opponent's going to be Miguel playing in red as the Bohemians. We have not casted this game or this map together, Mr. Jordan. This is Fortified Clearing? Is that what it's called? Fortified Clearing?
That's exactly, Fortified Clearing.
Talk us through the map then. I've never seen it. I'm looking around myself here.
So Fortified Clearing is literally a changed version of Arena. As on Arena, you obviously have the same situation that you are covered with stone walls, and you have a lot of freedom, so to say, until a Castle Age most of the time. And in the middle, you are having all the relics, which you always fight for most of the time in Arena. And the difference here, though, on this map is it is exactly the same in terms of the center, but on the outskirts, you also have land, which you can use for spacing, for expanding your economy. Instead of an arena, you have all fully spawning with forests. So yeah, that is the small deviation
love this
here.
Map.
You like it?
This map. Oh, yeah, I'll tell you why. Because my one problem with Arena is the fact that the all-in pushes work very well. All-in Monk Rush, all-in Fast Imperial Age. Yeah. And listen, it's part of the game. You know, it's part of the game for sure. But me as a player, I don't like to lose to something that's very... I would consider it's very build order and very civ dependent, and it just feels unfair to play against because you run out of space as a defending player. In this case, you have all the space in the world. The guy pushes you, you run away, and you're booming, and you can at least have a chance to come back into the game. And for that reason alone, I think it's a really fun map. I am noticing the 5 relics in the center though, so there's still really good incentive to fight for the center. Yeah,
and exactly the reasons you just pointed out was for me the motivation to not have Arena in the map pool, but a map like this, because I also want to have the possibility, if I'm getting all inished, so to say, I want to have people also being able to expand to the south side or to the back in order to expand their economy and maybe counter the all-in fast in, for example, by adding better economy and then just try to make counterplays. Maybe using a petard in the backsides and then raid the opponent to death, something like that. Right?
Yeah, so it just adds another dimension that you can go for. I think it's very healthy.
Exactly.
I can imagine some Arena players watching us and being like, "What's wrong with the fast Imperial, the monk rushes, and all that stuff?" And I think that's a discussion maybe for a different day. But in general, I like to have more options, and I feel like this map does definitely get you that.
Yeah, I think so as well. So in terms of the civilization matchups, we have Miguel being a Bohemians and Dark is playing as Tatars. And if I'm thinking about the civilizations, I would always prefer Bohemians here, especially on the close maps, because as Tatars you really struggle against that. I mean, you have the CA, yes, but against the Hufnice and Halberdier play, which is rather cheap as well in terms of the gold cost, it's going to be hard for the Tatar player to do something, I suppose. What do you think, Hera?
I'm pretty sure Tatar is like bottom 5 arena civ actually. So like seeing them on this map is weird because it's not that much different than arena.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you'd ever go to Tatars here. Honestly, I think you're wasting a good civ on this map. If anything, that makes no sense to me. So.
Yeah, and Bohemians obviously are excelling a lot on arena. Not as much as they used to anymore because their monasteries have been nerfed quite a bit. They are costing, or they cost now 175 wood a piece again. And previously, before the patch, it was 75. So what we always saw in the past was people going for 4 monasteries upon reaching Castle Age. And Hera, I think you're fortunate that you didn't have to experience that one, have you?
Yeah, no, I keep arena banned on the rank ladder as well, so don't have to deal with that. By the way, I got MBL in the chat telling me there are hills here and no hills on normal arena. Thank you so much, MBL. I do have my monitor open. I did see the hills, but I don't know if like the hills are enough of a push to make the Tatars worth it because they're a bit of a slower civ. At least that's how I think about it.
Yeah,
they only work with their power spikes like Thumb Ring and stuff. And I don't think you can really make use of that with the stone walls. But I'm not sure. Maybe MBL is right. Maybe he's onto something. I know he loves arena, so.
I was about to say we know that MBL likes the Bululu, so.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where he shines the most.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. This is the interesting thing. Maybe Dark is gonna prove everyone wrong, prove the world wrong here with the Tatars. But we're gonna wait and see. I think they have some options, like late game for sure. Super strong Cav Archer Hussar play.
Yeah.
Good trebs. They have some options for sure.
I think one of the most important things right now, which we will have to focus on within the next minutes, is the fight for the relics. Usually, all games I've seen on this map, people have been focusing on the relics very heavily. It's not like someone was just booming and chilling and, just leaving the relics out there. Both players usually committed there. And we see now Miguel going up with the 24 villagers, while Dark is going for the 25 villagers. And also with Bohemians, that's a very nice addition as well. They are getting the gold and stone mining upgrade for free in Fuel Age and Castle Age, and that helps a lot as well.
Yeah, I was just gonna say actually, I think if you want to go for a push on this map, you're kind of close to your opponent, man. Don't you think like there's an option to maybe push, like contest the relic and Castle Age push?
100%.
What's your opinion on that? It's a good strategy.
Yeah, 100%. Because especially if you're spawning so closely together, I mean, just in theory, Miguel or Dark could be placing a castle and they could place it in their bases and still hit the walls from their opponent. That's how close they are. And maybe one of them is going to do that. It feels like Bohemians should be the one which is more likely to do something like that, as the Monk play is very good. And if you go for the fast imp, Monks is usually a very good unit to go for, as it is the cheapest thing to go for an imp. You just have to pull every villager, or not every, but 80% of your villagers. You go on gold, and that's it. That's the economy management you have to pull off.
Literally what it comes down to, you have like the 4 or 5 relics, 80% of your vills on gold, and you can like afford 4 or 5 monastery monks with trebs. It's really insane. The potential that strategy has here. We are seeing a range now from Dark, so he wants to go Cav Archers to contest the middle relics, to contest the relics. I think Cav Archers is not a bad choice, but I think it's kind of weak versus monks in general. I think crossbows might be better versus monks, but I'm not sure. What do you think about that?
I think every time you lose with ranged units, because monks are just so much easier to scale at the beginning, or to mass at the beginning, and with ranged units you also have to invest into upgrades, which you don't have to as the monk player. Just go for the gold upgrades, which are much easier to get than, for example, fletching or even botkin. And that means also that you're lacking behind in terms of economy upgrades. So in general, I'm not the biggest fan of that. And he indeed is going for the archers. And he will have maybe 4 archers with fletching at the beginning, or crossbows with fletching. I don't think he will be able to afford crossbows. But the biggest point of all of it is, look at Miguel. He doesn't care about the middle. He doesn't care about the relics. Maybe he's going to be very confident in the abilities of his civilization and the Imperial Age, that he says, okay, I'm fine without the relics. I want to boom as heavy as I can, and then just take it from there.
Yep, I think he has two options that are just as valid. He can go double Monastery in early Castle Age, or he can go for double TC and just boom it up. I am noticing he's still on gold though, so I do think he's going to go for the double Monastery here. But I think both approaches just as valid with Bohemians. Although the relic approach might be slightly safer here just to secure a couple of relics. Let's see what he does though. He's in Castle Age now, immediately with one Monastery and one Town Center. So it looks like a little bit of both, mix of both strategies here.
That is confusing to me. It felt like, he's going for 2 monasteries here. Yeah, exactly.
You need to. Yeah, you need to.
Okay, so he's not ignoring the middle here. He definitely wants to fight for it. And with that approach, he should be much better compared to Dark, because with the 2 monastery plays, you're always going to outmass the crossbows heavily. If Dark was going for scouts himself, though, it would look a bit differently. But right now, the situation should be much better for Miguel, I feel like.
Yeah, and so, as you said, 4 archers with crossbow fletching, no bodkin arrow. You can't afford that if you're Dark. He does have the free thumb ring, though. And thumb ring will help a lot at sniping those monks, because that 100% accuracy is huge. You need to be able to make sure you're one-shotting them. Sanctity right away for Miguel. I think he should get Fervor right away, because that helps his villagers too, you know, as Bohemians.
Exactly. Yeah. That's super important as well. It is a bit of more of a cost investment, so maybe he doesn't really have the resources to do so right now. And now he gets a confirmation as well that his opponent went for the crossbows. I'm pretty sure he saw them, didn't he?
Yeah, he definitely saw them with the scout there.
Okay,
100%.
okay.
Went back as well with the monk, and now he knows not to move out with one monk. He wants to chill. That being said, he is going out with one monk now. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah. I think he should be able to get at least 1 conversion in. Yeah, he did that. And now the second conversion should be coming in as well. Gotta convert the right unit. Oh, that is huge. Not getting that conversion must be one of the most frustrating things right there.
Yeah. He was converting for like 3 hours there. And look at Dark. He's so happy. He snagged the relic from in front of Miguel's face. Oh, but Miguel's not happy about it. Miguel's sending the scouts.
Yeah, he's not happy about it all. And Miguel just has to retreat here, right?
Feels bad, man.
Yeah, Dark having a huge win there, but I still think the monks. I don't like what Miguel is doing. He's splitting up his monks there. That's the thing we have addressed already. The patience, right? The patience is so important in these situations. And now both players have 1 crossbow, and yeah, let's see. I mean, Miguel is out there with 2 monks, and Dark is as well. But the biggest issue is Dark doesn't have the scout anymore, while Miguel does. So that one could win him the entire fight here.
Oh, he's gonna go for it here. 2 monks converting.
I don't like the comment. Oh no, that hurts so much.
Ooh,
that hurts so much.
You did say you didn't like it because of how risky that was. Because now it's not only that Miguel lost his scout, Dark has that scout now, and that was a huge mistake because now Miguel can't get any relics. It seems.
Yeah, for sure. That's insane.
What is going on, man?
What is this, Hera? What is this? So yeah, that's pretty annoying, and yeah, it still feels like Dark seems to be having the better position.
Yeah,
and he's going very greedy. Yeah, and he's going very greedy as well. He's taking the relics, which are Miguel's in theory, because the relics are so much shorter distance. And now let's see. I mean, if Miguel is paying attention, he should be able to get 3 conversions on the crossbows. And then that would mean that he has full victory? No, full
control?
Full control, thank you.
Yeah,
full control of the middle.
Yeah. Alright, let's see here. Miguel's very slow to react, gets a super fast conversion there though. That's just the way monks go, guys. And now I think with the scout, he should be completely killing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Now Miguel, man, that's a perfect example of what happens if you're too greedy. Instead of going for the shorter relic and just say, okay, I'm fine with 3 relics myself, I want to have 4, and then it will lead to you having 2, and your opponent having 3. So
hard punished. And you know what? I can see a world here where Miguel pushes with mangonels, kills the monastery, and then takes the 2 relics from Dark. I can see that happening very easily, actually.
Oh yeah, it's also very likely. Because right now, Dark is in a complete booming fest right now. Miguel also has 3 TCs, so both players have 3 TCs. And we have a university coming in as well for Miguel. A university at this point. I'm just wondering what he's going for.
Nothing. That's just an Imperial Age building, but you don't need it. That's weird. I don't know.
Because he has a siege workshop already as well, so that's rather surprising. Maybe he's thinking...
chemistry!
Yeah, but he doesn't have range units right now. So I would understand it if he would do it on the way to Imperial Age, but yeah, okay. Never mind, it's not the biggest thing. And especially with Bohemians, it doesn't cost as much, so yeah.
Yeah, it's not the biggest thing, but just a weird thing to see there. I always like to speculate. The Ram is out now, so he's gonna be trying to push in on that monastery, it seems.
Maybe, yeah.
How is Dark defending? Cav archers?
I guess he has to switch to Cav archers, because that's also the unit you want to go for in Imperial Age. And Hera, I see a world where your prediction is coming true.
I really think that's what Miguel wants to do here. Like, I think he's seeing that monastery and thinking, you know what, this is the perfect opportunity for me. He's also adding ranges. He's gonna get chemistry and go hand cannons. I think that's what he wants to do, by the way.
Oh, hand cannon here.
Yeah, that's what I meant. Like, you get chemistry and then you go hand cannon here. But I don't even know if it's good, but it's an option in Castle Age, and it's not. I don't think it's bad. It seems fine to me.
I'm just wondering, the way he's approaching it, I don't feel so, because he wants to go for Imperial Age. Otherwise, he would have gone for chemistry already. I love what he's doing on the right-hand side. He's walling up, and that is just beautiful. And even look at the greedy wall on the north-hand side. He wants to wall there as well. And if he gets that one up, he kind of makes it an arena for himself, where he can only focus on the center, and he will be fine doing so. I don't like the fight. Yeah, sorry. I don't like the fight of Dark at all. He was running 7 crossbows into 5 monks and 2 scorpions. It's just not going to be a fight you're going to win. And he's going to win the relics now.
This is exactly what Miguel wants, but his strategy was so good. Like, to be honest, I don't even think Miguel's execution was insane this game. I think he played okay. But I think his strategy was fantastic, and it just showed exactly what the strength of Bohemian was. And he's going to go Arbless. He's not going to mess around and go hand cannon. He's just going to go Arbless here with the forward castle, with the position, and with all 5 relics. It seems so unstoppable. Dark isn't even clicked up the Imperial Age now. Yeah,
and also look at the resources of Dark. He's rushing up the 2 Castle Age buildings in order to be able to go up himself. And on the right hand side, he has been able to stop the walls, so that is very good for him. But in general, Miguel seems to be on such a good position. He is 1 minute and 20 seconds faster into Imperial Age than his opponent. He will have to switch to the Arbalest, and the Arbalests are going to be completely fine against the CA when we are talking about low numbers and when we are talking about not fully upgraded CA. Because the CA, if they are fully upgraded for Tatars, they have 7 pierce armor, which is exactly as much as a Paladin has. And then everything would be going downhill from there.
Yeah. Cav Archer is one of the weirdest units. It's either so insanely strong or kind of useless. Like, that's what it kind of seems like, depending on how much you have of it, the upgrade you have on it. It really is one of those units that you have to full commit to make it to make it viable. And I just don't see Dark having the time to get that full commitment down. That's why we questioned the Tatars at the start of the game. Very slow to get started, Civ, on maps like this.
The Tatars don't really have anything going for them. On the right hand side, Dark is trying to prevent Miguel from walling, and he's going to be able to do so. Trying to get a castle up into Miguel's face, and I love that move. But the problem is, his main base is completely exposed. He has no units whatsoever to stop that ram push going. And maybe a castle defensively would have been the better choice here.
Yeah, Dark with a random forward castle there. That was a very interesting choice. That just tells me, like, desperation and, like, just doesn't know what to do. I don't necessarily blame him. Like, what do you do here? He's just getting rolled on the front. Absolutely rolled. He can't do anything.
I feel like at this point, you cannot do anything. What units can you commit to? And if you commit to a unit, then you will not be able to mass them. So at this point, it feels like the victory of Miguel is just inevitable. And it's just a matter of time until Miguel is going to grab this game. We also have Redemption coming in for Miguel. He currently has 107 population against 90. And he should be having the economy to spam a lot of Arbalest right now.
Yeah, and I did catch Miguel running 10 crossbows into Dark's town center. I'm not happy about that. I hate when I see units being wasted like that. It just feels so messy and so sloppy, but it's not going to matter in the end. Just thought I'd mention it, man. I just hate seeing stuff like that in these tournament games.
Yeah, it was completely wasted, right? And especially when we're talking about those low numbers, it is so crucial to have every single unit alive as possible. And on the right-hand side, Miguel was able to snipe the trebuchet, now sieging up against the castle, so Dark is going to be pushed back here as well. And it just feels like, yes, you have a lot of space to work with behind your base on this map, but I don't think he's going to be able to get himself the time he needs in order to compete against that army. And now we see a huge castle coming up for Miguel, denying around 30 farms here right now.
Yeah, like that was Miguel's. Sorry, that was Dark's starting town center. Like this is this is a power move. And by the way, he's converting all of Dark's villagers. That's so massive. Like that's so. Oh my god, this is huge.
Yeah, and now Dark is pulling all these villagers. Okay, he realizes that he is about to lose this game, and for me, that castle would be classified as the get out of my game castle.
Yeah,
that's how it feels like. And Dark,
I own this shit.
Yeah. It feels like Dark is that one, that kind of player who likes to stay in the game a bit longer. I'm not complaining about that. It's just analyze for me, and I'm sure other players would have resigned by now already. But yeah, he definitely tries to do everything he can to stay in this game, as he knows if he is going to be ahead 2-0 in this set, he's going to have a beautiful chance to get into the top 8 here.
Yeah, this is so massive for Miguel, especially this game was somehow Dark's home map, even though it felt like Miguel had the much better preparation on it, maybe just got the better civ. Who knows, but like, if you're Dark, you're picking this home map, and then you give Miguel Bohemians, something in the plan went wrong there, if you ask me, so just something to think about here, guys. The tournament is not only about the gameplay, it's also about the draft. I would say the draft is more important than the gameplay, if you ask me, but...
yeah, for sure. Yeah,
the draft is so massive, man.
Yeah. And also, you can do so many things wrong in the drafting. I mean, as we talked about it, right? Like, giving Bohemians, even though there is a close map, just feels so extremely wrong. Because I would say Bohemians is one of the strongest imperial civilizations we have with the Halberdier and the Hoofnitz play. It's just,
so strong.
How do you pronounce Hoofnitz?
I think it's Hoofnitz, yeah.
Hoofnitz, okay.
Yeah.
People have always been complaining about how I pronounce it, and they were trying to tell me how to pronounce it while, with chatting form. I was like, how am I supposed to learn that?
You're just reading it the way you want to read it, and then it's always wrong? There's no way, bro. GG's called there. Miguel goes up 2-0. That is big, and this was a great game. Like, listen, guys, he's Imperial Age, 5 relics of Bohemians, castle on his opponent's face. Walled the sides. I mean, this is as perfect as it gets. I don't think he missed anything in terms of strategy, but he was pretty sloppy with the military. I'm not gonna lie, Miguel. You gotta clean that shit up, bro.
Yeah, definitely. Strategy-wise, he was doing a great job going for the 2 monastery play. Definitely has paid out. Has paid out and paid off. Sorry. And yeah, now we have Miguel going into game number 3 with a very, very convincing lead. Being up 2-0, and now we will have the last home map of Dark. Let's see what that one is going to be. Okay, Hera, go ahead.
I'll take it away, and we can talk about the matchup right after. Guys, game 3 between Miguel and Dark. The first series of 4 series that we have today. Jordan will be casting all of them. Of course, this is the Resurgence $10,000 tournament, sponsored by Microsoft, hosted by our boy Jordan here. This is game 3 between Miguel and Dark. Miguel is playing in blue as the Incas, and his opponent Dark playing in the purple as the Sicilians. I'm gonna just change him to red on my screen. But yeah, very interesting civ matchup. As you said, the map is Regicide Fortress, a very classic map there.
Yeah. In general, how much do you enjoy Regicide Fortress, Hera?
I think out of all the closed maps, it's the most fun.
Really? Okay.
I like it. What do you think?
I don't like Regicide Fortress too much. I cannot even tell you why, but I personally enjoy when there is a lot of action going at the start of the game, and Resurgence Fortress is just the complete opposite. I understand why people want to have that map in the map hole, and why people love it. It's just for me, for my taste, it's just not fitting totally. But you know, it's just taste things here.
Yeah, no, I can respect that. At least I will say, I don't know if this makes it better, but seeing Resurgence Fortress with different civilizations in this tournament with the settings, I think is a little bit more refreshing than seeing Chinese versus Mayans versus Vietnamese, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100% agree there.
Yeah.
You know, I was just thinking, we have Dark playing as Sicilians, and Miguel are going with Incas. I'm just thinking how this matchup should be looking like, because I'm not sure that I have seen it too often. With Incas, we have the very strong Eagles with the extra armor. We have the Slingers. We have Halberdiers. We have Kameyuks, which are just amazing against cavalry. And Sicilians, however, they have Sergeants. They have great cavalry as well, which have much more armor compared to the normal cavalier. And they also have Arbalests, they have Siege Onagers, they have Halberdiers as well, which is not going to be too important against Incas. So, how is the ideal composition for both civilizations, you would say, Hera?
I think if you're Inca, I think you probably want to get like Arbalest Halberdier versus Sicilian, but that's weird because Sicilian Cavalier are very resilient to Halberdier, and they're also very tanky in terms of Pierce armor. So, but I can't think of another composition. What else can you go with? Because you cannot go Eagles, because then you hard die to Sergeants if you go Eagles, I think. So I think you have to play Arbalest Halb and then kind of hope for the best, I guess. Maybe Monks.
I'm thinking, would for Inca player full Kameyuk and a few Slingers behind work? I think that should be good, because the Kameyuk, they're also very strong. Yeah. They are also very strong against melee units, and I think that would be the best bet for Miguel there. Now thinking about it.
Yeah, I kind of overlooked Kameyuks a little bit. I can see Kameyuks being pretty good actually. Yeah, I don't mind that at all. I think maybe against Sicilians. Sicilians might have to go Arbalest in that case or something like that. We'll see. Yeah, maybe Sergeants, but Kameyuks seem interesting. I like it.
Yeah, especially when you're having a lot of Kameyuks, right? And 10 against 10, obviously, they're going to not scale as well as they could. But if you have 40 Kameyuks, that's just so much damage output, because they get one extra range compared to other melee units. And therefore, you have always 2 rows fighting instead of only 1. So there's a lot of potential. If we're looking at the economy, Sicilians should be pulling ahead, because they're building their TCs 100% faster. They also get the bonus that when they're getting the farm upgraded, that their farms are not only getting the food which is that you get from the farm upgrade itself, they also get the double, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So it's double, right? So Horse Color is not giving 75, but 150, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, no, that's exactly how it works, and that's a pretty big bonus on maps that are closed. That bonus is really overrated on open maps, but it's really good on closed maps, because you get to get heavy plow earlier, and that's when it starts to get really, really strong. So, yeah, I would heavily prefer Sicilians here. I'm always the guy that likes the economy civs more than the like the military civs, to be honest. Yeah. So I think economy lets you get tempo. Yeah. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Dark Stone is outside his walls. Is that normal?
It's very rare, so it's not the best map spawning for him. That's for sure. Thinking that's about weird. It, also Sicilians, they have the unique technology that which they can upgrade in the castle, which gives them the possibility that. Let me rephrase that. They get 7 sergeants per TC, maximum up to 5 TCs. Up on reaching the unique tech, which you can research in Castle Age. And that really is a big bonus as well, because you can fend off pushes so much easier with that technology. And Sicilians also have the characteristics that they're getting 50% less bonus damage from opposing units, which is quite a big deal, Hera.
Yeah, I really like how Dark is hopping in and out of the castle to take the stone, by the way. It's very cute. Yeah. But yeah, so talking about the Sicilian military, I think Sicilian is one of those civilizations that has a good amount of options when it comes to, like, infantry, cavalry, especially in this day and age. They do have quite a few options, and I think it makes them a really solid overall civilization. Miguel is up to castle age faster. That just means he's going to be able to drop his town centers. He forgot to take stone. No, he didn't.
No, but
he took just enough stone, right?
Yeah. But the thing is, he's going for stone. That means we will see the Kamayuk play from him.
Yeah, true.
Right.
True.
Otherwise, the TC right there doesn't make sense. You want to have TC on stone if you're opting to go for unique units, and that's exactly what we see from Miguel. So he's going for the Kamayuk route. And Sicilian player Dark, what is he going to do right now? He's going for the monastery and the TC. So a bit of a different approach here, also adding the monastery.
Yeah, I'm not sure, honestly. I don't know how good relics are in Redeside Fortress. I think, like, in a situation where you can get all 5, I love the relics. In a situation where you get 3, but you have to invest for it, I actually don't like it that much.
Yeah.
But it's definitely interesting to try to go for some relics early.
I personally am not the biggest fan of committing that hard onto relics that early. I think it's fine to commit to them once you have 3 TCs going smoothly already with, let's say, around 16 farms, then you can go for that. But earlier than that, you will maybe get 1 relic or 2 relics more, but you know, you will be behind in terms of villagers, and then it's also depending a lot on the civilization matchups. Because there's so many factors you have to take into consideration. Dark is going now for heavy plow. I love that move before replenishing his farms here. And he is finishing that one before after the upgrade finishes.
So he's nice.
Yeah, that was very well timed here.
Really nice. So just really good from Dark. He's really playing the civilization how it's meant to be played. He's using every bonus that he can in the book. So gotta respect that. Gotta love to see it here. 3 TC now from Dark. 3 TC from Miguel. Both players just booming up here. And as you said, it's gonna be the Kamayuk. Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how it performs.
It looks like Miguel, if you're looking at the scouting, and that's something I don't really agree with, he has not scouted the corners of Dark Space at all. And that's something which I would say is definitely a mistake, because you want to have a knowledge how the map looks like of your opponent to really, have the best strategy possible where you want to attack. Because you want to attack where the extra resources are. If you win the position there, then your opponent is going to be in a big problem. And on the right hand side, it feels like it's a very good way to push. But there are hills as well, so there is the defending advantage as well. So yeah, there are things to take into consideration there.
By the way, it's pretty cute, but Dark made a stable to make... So he went up with market stable, and that allowed him to make an extra scout. And that might help him secure some of the relics.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm not sure. I've never thought to do that actually on Redeside. Pretty cool.
Haven't you done that against Mr. Yo playing as Burgundians?
I think no. I added Couturier. I added the unique unit, not the stable.
Yeah. Okay. Never mind then. Okay, yeah, very nice pointing that one out, because I didn't check. Usually we always see blacksmith and market as the 2 go-to buildings, as the blacksmith is 25 wood cheaper than the cast or the other feudal age buildings. And we see now Miguel expanding even further, going for the 4th TC. And I like Miguel's approach a bit more with the monk, because now he's going to get 2 relics most likely as well. Even though he invested so much later to the relics than Dark did.
And getting 2 relics is just enough. Like 2 relics, it means you're not gonna lose because of relics. Basically,
exactly.
It's not gonna happen. So yeah, I agree. Good approach there, but Dark might be able to snipe this monk here. We'll see. The tower is there.
Oh, the tower! that is obviously beautiful. A nice reaction by Miguel.
Yeah, really nice tower there. That's pretty sick. Gets the relic in there. And yeah, that whole stable investment now from Dark, it didn't really do much, but I thought it was interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, for sure. Good to point that one out. We have Dark now also adding the 4th TC, so both players having exactly the same approach. Now the big question for me is, if we look at Dark's position, doesn't know what his opponent is going to go for, obviously, and now the question is, what does he really want to commit to? Because Dark, as we mentioned, he's a very smart player. He will be considering that Kamayuks might be an option here for his opponent, and how does he really want to counter that the best way? It feels like the cavalry, they should be dying against the Kamayuk. The sergeants, I don't know how well they're doing against the Kamayuks in mass, because I've never seen that.
I gotta say, I've never seen it as well, but I think that sounds like the best option to me, like going sergeants, honestly, because like you get the unique tech, you get like 35 of them right away, and then if they're even decent against Kamyuk, that's good. You have a big mass, and then you can start to push with castles. Maybe that's how I think about it at least.
I mean,
But
the
it is,
sergeant, the sergeant has a lot of melee armor as well. It should be around 6, if I'm not mistaken, right? So in theory, they should be doing very well against the Kamyuks. Also, Sicilians, they don't have Thumbring, but they have Arbalest and they have Bracer. So maybe that's also something they could be taken into consideration. But what would they do then against the incoming Eagles? So I love that matchup because it's so complex.
So I think, okay, Miguel is opening now 2 ranges. So he has the choice, guys, to go slingers as well. Like, there's so many weird units on the field right now that could be coming out. We have like Kamyuk as an option. We've got slingers as an option for Miguel, and on on the other hand, Dark. We've got sergeants. Oh, that TC's getting denied in the corner. Oh, that's so annoying, actually.
Yeah, it is. Especially it is an unloomed villager. It should be no. What? What was the pathing?
What was that?
Man, that's so stupid.
Yeah, that was pathing. I don't think that was either misclick or pathing there, but that's very unlucky. But yeah, nonetheless, 2 villagers go down there for Dark. So Miguel, that's not a bad trade there for him with 1 eagle.
Yeah. And on the right-hand side, Dark is trying to push to the 4th or the 5th relic, the remaining one on the map, and it looks like he's going to be successful in doing so. I love what he did there, adding 2 monks there, adding a knight as well to push away those eagles. And Miguel right now, it looks like he's going to give up that relic. And if it's 4 against 1 in the long run, that matters. And we see Dark now going to Imperial Age. Miguel being able to go for the Imperial Age as well. So they're both so close. We also see village-wise, it's exactly the same count as well. Economy-wise, we see the same. So, Hera, we are in a, I would say, tied up position here.
Yep, the big thing here is that Dark somehow won out the relic war. He's got 4 relics now if that one makes it home safely. So that's the only advantage I can see. Right now, it's going to come down to which composition is better. The question me and Jordan have kind of failed to answer because of our inexperience in this particular Civ matchup. It's a very uncommon one. And so we're going to see what both players have in store. Castle going up for Dark, kind of forward on a hill. I love that position. It secures the stone. It's very defensive. I like it.
I love it as well, and it should be a bit of a higher elevation compared to Miguel's castle.
True.
Also, Dark now sees... Oh, what is that castle from Miguel? He obviously doesn't know. Okay, now he has to abandon that position.
He's gonna cancel it,
Yeah, no, but I like the counter castle, so he will have 3 castles producing trebuchet, and Sicilians, for those guys who don't know, they don't have bomber cannon, so the only way to really fend off the trebuchet from the opponent is either by military or by trebuchet, but okay, yeah, trebuchet is a military as well, but you get my point.
No, I understood perfectly. By the way, Miguel has some slingers on the field already.
Yeah.
And it does feel like Dark is going for sergeants. There's nothing else he can go for here. It has to be sergeants, I think.
First Crusade.
Yeah, he's getting First Crusade.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, so finally we're going to see that one, and I'm really curious how that one is going to play out. However, if we have slingers on the map, it feels like the sergeants should never work.
But don't the Sicilians take less bonus damage? So like...
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So it's only 5 bonus damage instead of the 10, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Because slingers take or deal 10 bonus damage against infantry. And now we see the big spike. 170 population for Dark against the 134. And he goes for elite sergeants as well, going for the infantry upgrades. I think he's a bit late on that one. And the biggest issue, very late. And the biggest issue with that play is you most of the time get housed.
True. Yeah. So it's supposed to be a power spike, but it ends up being pretty slow. But it looks like, I don't know if Dark did get housed, but it looks like he's okay right now. But he's switching to stable so fast now. That's interesting.
Look at that castle of Dark. He has to abandon that one, surely.
Dude, you can't. Wow, okay, I mean, he has to kill the Trebs now. Let's see, Sergeant's going in. The Slingers are on the hill here. These are Elite Sergeant. Lacking some Pierce Armor, though.
Yeah, but the Elite Sergeants, they're completely getting melted here by the Slingers. And I like the position of Miguel right now. He lost the 2 Trebuchet, yes. But he was able to kill all the Sergeants. And now the castle, which he built forward, It goes up, yes, but I still am not the biggest fan of that one.
Dude, it feels like Miguel has a better composition with slingers and Kamuyuks. I actually think that Miguel just has to chill and hold now because Dark has the momentum because of the first Crusade. He's also switching into Hoberk Cavalier with extra Pierce Armor. He has Cavalier, doesn't have the unique tech just yet. I believe he didn't get it just yet, Jordan. I don't know if you saw it.
No, he did not. And I like what Dark is doing in theory because he knows exactly if he's able to kill those castles, then the Kamuyuk production is going to be halted a lot. And he's going for another castle in front of 3 trebuchet. Are you serious?
Oh. What's the point? Like, you get it up and then what? Like, I don't get it, man.
I mean, these are Sicilian castles, yes, but it's just still not going to be efficient. And now he's going for the unique attack, Hauberg. So once that one completes, it should be doing very well for him. But still, we have a lot of Kamuyuks.
I have no faith in this army composition. 2 melee unit is so bad, man. I have no faith in it. Miguel's composition is so much better, guys. The score is looking in favor of Dark, but in my opinion, the score is lying very hard right now. I think I prefer Miguel's position a lot here.
Yeah, however, he's heavily out of position. Committing into the left-hand side, while he's going to lose 3 trebuchet at least on the right-hand side. And that is a nice momentum shift for Dark. If he had committed to the trebuchet.
How can you let that happen? Dude, you should be grateful to have 6 trebs on the field and then you just freaking leave them. That is crazy. But yeah, the Kamuyuks are doing pretty good against the Cav. Like, pretty decent. Yeah,
they are not elite yet, so they are not at their fullest power spike right now. And look at the population. We have 180 against the 150. And it feels like Miguel is really struggling right now.
Dark is just winning. Like, Miguel doesn't have the eco or like the military. Something went completely wrong there, it seems.
Yeah.
And Dark is doing just fine here.
Yeah, it feels like Miguel does not have the production facilities up now in order to get out the numbers which he needs. He has an okayish fight in the front, but he's going to lose the castle and therefore also the position in the middle. And yeah, overall, this is going to be a very good position right now for Dark. He also has the 4 relics instead of the 1 which Miguel has. So in long run, he's going to be very, very fine. And
Miguel just lost. Wow. I completely miscommentated that game. Like, I don't know what happened, honestly.
It was the well, I don't think it was only the mispositioning by Miguel with the Kamuyuk, but it definitely was a big blunder, I felt, because 6 trebuchet were all in the sudden completely exposed, and he didn't have the upgrades, and that was the biggest issue. But also, one thing to keep in mind against the First Crusade, your opponent gets 35 army. I don't want to say for free, but it's an instant, and you have to somehow play a bit more cautiously, I feel like. Because if you're putting everything into the table on the middle, you're exposing yourself to that power spike of your opponent. And it's like, against Burgundians, you don't really want to do that as well because they have Flemish Revolution, right? So you have to be a bit more cautious there.
Guys, welcome back to Game 4 between Miguel and Dark. We've got Miguel playing in the blue as the Vietnamese, and his opponent is going to be Dark playing in the purple as the Portuguese. It's going to be red on my screen personally.
Yep, same.
And the map, perfect. And the map is Nevasha, and we've seen this map yesterday on the cast here with me and Jordan here. Vietnamese versus Portuguese. You have a lot of experience with Vietnamese on water maps, Jordan. Tell me, what is it like to face that, actually?
Oh god, I knew that one was coming. I knew it, and I still don't have an answer to that.
Yeah, you know how to play Portuguese. You basically completely grief the game for 30 minutes, then you stall and hope to God that you can win with Vitoria. That's your strategy, right? That was your strategy?
Yeah, so literally what you have to do as Portuguese is you put down 20 layers of stonewall. So your opponent cannot breach you, and just go for the Vitorias. So, Hera, I'm not sure if you have ever played against that, but I heard that it's very efficient.
Oh no, dude! So I've actually played against it one time only, and I actually let the guy win because I felt so bad. Like, imagine losing that matchup. So I just let him win. I gave it to him, bro. I think his mom was watching as well. I couldn't win that matchup against him on the live stream, so Gave it to him. It's all good. I don't think you know who the opponent was at the time. But it's all good though. But listen, it's not quite islands though. Hold on, it's not quite islands. This map is more interesting than islands because you have that land factor. So now you could have that different angle that you can take with either of these civilizations, I think.
You have more things to consider, right? It's not like only water. And just to comment that real quick, my girlfriend was watching, not my mother, my girlfriend. And after I lost, she was like, I'm so sorry for you, but at least you won one game. And I looked at her like, it didn't feel like a win. It did not.
That was good. But listen, I mean, it's all fun and games, but that was your first tournament back, and like second place was still good. I don't know how you got past Yo with those kind of island skills, but hey, you managed to do it, so not too bad there for sure.
Okay, but let's focus on the game here. So Miguel,
you can't take more. I understand.
Yeah. One thing per 10 minutes is fine. Like I cannot handle more.
That's very good. No, MBL has been burnt out. I can't insult him anymore. He's been done for 2 years, so I'm moving on to the next guy. But yeah, let's focus on the game at hand here. There is a water. There's a big lake in the center, and I'm seeing Dark is actually losing a lot of HP with the scout.
What? Does he really commit? Why would you ever commit there?
You can't win that.
Even if you win, or even if you kill the villager, it's not worth it. I feel like because losing your scout on a map like this, no, never.
Yeah. Hard agree there. You don't like the scout is way more valuable than a vill because a vill that's gonna be like okay, a delayed dock it's gonna slow him down, but the scout can make or break whether you scout the landing, and that could actually win you the game or lose you the game based on whether you scout it. Very random to lose all your HP on the scout there. At least he didn't lose the scout, and it does feel like he lamed 2 of the goats there on the right hand side. I think he did take those from Miguel. So it's okay for Dark, but definitely a very questionable decision there. Both players docking here on this map seems like the right call.
Yeah, for sure. Not going for the dock here is, I feel like suicide. It gives your opponent all the space to work with in the water, and there is just too much fish to ignore. And I'm just wondering how both players are going to approach this one. In general, I favorize Portuguese at the early stages. I know you disagree here, Hera, but they should be winning on water in theory because they get 10% more HP on their navy units.
Yeah, no, for sure. The thing about Portuguese is that I feel like their bonus is so passive. Like you're saving a little bit of gold, you have a little bit more HP, but it's not anything blowout. And that's the thing that I would say with Portuguese that is, it could be either a good thing or a bad thing depending on the playstyle. But I do think that, in the right hands, they should win every water engagement with the extra HP. So there is that at the very least. But I think Miguel is going to save 50 wood from the wood upgrade right away. And he has higher HP archers if he chooses to use them on the land. So there's 2 things going for him. We'll see what ends up being stronger in this case.
Yeah, I'm expecting from Miguel a hybrid approach as well. So I guess maybe this time, as he's not melee, maybe he's going for 2 docks, but he is going to transition into land. I'm pretty confident in that one.
Okay.
Because it feels like, as Vietnamese, you don't really have anything going for you on water against Portuguese. They don't have any bonus there. And you want to play your civilization to the best of its abilities. And in this case, extra HP on the ranged units is something you want to take advantage of.
Hard agree. Why did you suggest 2 docks though? Isn't it like... if you want to play land, isn't 1 dock enough, or do you really think he needs 2 docks to even have any chance on the water?
I think you go for 2 docks just to show presence and prevent your opponent to commit too early on the fishing boats. And if your opponent goes 2 docks, then you don't know exactly, is there a 3rd dock coming in as well? And if he only sees 1, then he knows, okay. Like we saw yesterday, for example, Dugao, he was able to wall, or he had the intuition that he has to wall because he saw, okay, Miguel is only going for 1 dock, so there is a land coming 100%. And with 2 docks, you don't really have that information right away.
I agree. Yeah, you convinced me 100% with that. That makes a lot of sense to me. 2 dock opening, and then you keep yourself flexible. By the way, we are seeing galley opening from both players. We saw that yesterday as well on this map. Do you agree with galley opening, or do you think fire galley? Like, what's your thought on that kind of situation there?
I still don't have the right answer to. It feels like maybe in 4 months I have a bit more knowledge in that one, but it is something. I feel like the galley play has been new to the table. I'm not the very biggest fan here of galley play because if you go for galley play, that means that on land, if there would be something coming, it would be so much harder to make the galleys work, because galleys are beautiful if you can only focus on them 100%, and if you have to micro on the land as well, that's going to be very tough.
Yeah, I think you nailed it absolutely perfectly there. Like, the galleys, you need to micro them for them to be any good. So, and as you see, Miguel is actually going for a landing with 2 villagers, as you can see on the left-hand side here, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, Dark might scout it. This is huge. This is really important, actually, while they fight with galleys on the water. What?
He saw, like, it was visible for the scout, but I'm not sure if he paid attention here. But now on the left-hand side, he sees that. And yeah, he should be able to spot that. They're very active on the water right now, so maybe Dark still misses that one. But in general, has he not? He has not moved.
I don't think he saw it.
He is adding a third dog. He did not see it.
This is so massive. Oh my god, this is so massive. I don't even think it's a mistake from Dark. Like, it's so hard, man. It's so hard to see that, you know?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And now Miguel's
crazy.
approach is going to be very successful. The thing is, Miguel doesn't know if Dark saw him or not. So Miguel doesn't know how much he wants to commit to this one now. But I don't like what he's doing with the scout. The scout must be at Dark's place now and scouting what is his opponent doing.
Yeah. Because that would tell him, like, if you see the walls going up, then you know, oh shit, he saw me, I'll chill. If you see no walls going up, you're like, oh, he doesn't know, and then boom, your strategy is totally fine now.
Yeah.
Let's see, he's bringing the scout back now. He needs to do that. It's very important, but there's a lot going on for Miguel here. He's fighting on the water as well with galleys, as we talked about, very micro-intensive here.
Yeah, and now we will see the 1 kill for Miguel. Maybe he's escaping with that 3 HP galley here. It should not, but let's see. Yeah, it is escaping, so that is very nicely done by him.
Get the Repairville, it's all good.
Yeah, man, that's so annoying. If I ever see one unit having a close death, let's say 1 shot away, then I'm always like, it frustrates me. Just frustrates me.
That's super tilting. You have to try to kill it as best you can here, but it does feel like Dark is actually going to be winning the water here, by the way. Has a lot more numbers because naturally Miguel is investing onto the land military. 3 Dark for Dark, so he's going to be guaranteed winning the water very soon. A horse collar for Miguel, I absolutely hate it. That has to be wrong.
The problem is, it obviously boosts your economy a little bit, but it also will slow down your castle age time. And I feel like on maps like these, castle age is so important. So, yeah, I'm a bit torn apart on this one. I understand why he's going for that, but I don't know if it's the right call. And in this position, Dark should be knowing that he so heavily outmasses his opponent that there must be a landing coming.
Yeah, so I think Dark now, it comes back to experience here, like whether he knows how developed the landing is. Like, it actually comes a lot faster than you'd expect, because your opponent, a top player like Miguel, he's not going to lose water and then think, oh, I'm going to land. He's going to be already landing you. So at this point, as soon as you win water, Dark has to go in full reaction mode right now and just wall everything and consider a tower if need be, and maybe a barracks just to help react as well.
Exactly, and I still don't see any barrack from him, and that's going to be such a huge problem for him, because by the time he gets an archer range out, he's going to be down 7 or 8 archers, and the only way he's going to... Oh, what is that house wall? He's trapping 3 villagers.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
3 villagers trapped!
Ay.
And yeah, Miguel is having a beautiful day right now, because he's going to kill 1 villager at least. Could have gotten the second one if he had paid attention. I like the tower by Dark. It will at least secure the gold and the wood a bit. But yeah, ideally, it's not the ideal tower, but I understand why he's doing it.
No, for sure. And it's a little bit of a panic / quick reaction. It's not bad. Like 3 houses, barracks. It makes sense to get this down. But Dark, as you guys can see, his base is kind of in shambles. Lost a villager, towered in a weird location. The berries, I mean, look at the berries, you know?
The berries are completely exposed as well. And yes, he's about to win water. However, Miguel still has 5 galleys on water. So that can always pose a threat. And you can see now, like, it feels like Dark's economy. And that's always something we see so often. That on hybrid maps, one player is winning the water. However, he's being pushed on land. And land economy is just so inefficient that the player who has not the fish, but has an efficient landing economy is far ahead there.
Yeah. This is how I think of water, by the way. I think a lot of people would agree. It's not like a hot take or anything like that. The water is great early game when you get to the extra fishing ship. Then it becomes really bad in mid game when the fish becomes inefficient. But then the water becomes really good late game when you can now pressure your opponent's land with galleons. So and like bombard cannon galleons. So that's the way I think of it, at least. And we're in this mid game here, guys, where the fish doesn't really matter. In fact, a lot of the fish has been sniped by Miguel's galleys as well. And so the water, it doesn't matter that you have water. It doesn't matter at all.
Yeah, exactly. The water doesn't help you anything right now. It's just feels like Dark has committed way too much here on the water. And I have to love Miguel's position. He already goes to cast stage as well. 2 minutes remaining here. And Dark is forced to use the houses to wall his map. But I think Miguel is going to be super happy with the position. He now is charging against, or Dark is charging against the north hand side tower. But I don't like that move too much for Dark. He should not be able to kill the tower. And if he does, he will lose at least 3 villagers in the process.
That's a yikes. That's a yikes, man.
Yeah. And 1 villager down.
He got it.
Miguel got the 3rd kill as well. 4th kill even, maybe. That's never going to be worth it.
I think I see 6 dead there, by the way. I think that was 6 vills. Yeah, I think that was 6 vills lost. That's rough, man.
Yeah.
The eco KD is 15-4. Miguel had 15 kills onto eco from Dark. That is so massive here.
Yeah. And he has 43 villages right now. Dark has 40 himself. 5 fishing boats. But he still is not up to cast stage. He will utilize the market now to go up. Missing a bit of gold here, selling 100 wood. Now he should be able to up, but look at his food economy, Hera. He only has 5 on food.
So rough. Yeah. And those are fishing ships that are inefficient as well. Like, that's so crazy.
Yeah, and now...
Yeah, it's so rough.
Yeah, and Dark is now going to face an opponent who has 2 stables and cast stage obviously in already. So, I don't see how Miguel will not break through here in a moment. And I really struggle how Dark can make the hold here. I just don't see it.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, Miguel is playing so sharp. Like, he had 2 range, crossbow bodkin, 2 stables, can produce knights. Siege Workshop can produce rams, mangonels. Like, this is absolutely everything you can ask for when you're pushing. And Dark is holding, but what are you buying time for? You're not winning later. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly. And he wants to transition into the knight play himself, but... he just won't have the food economy to sustain that production. And now I'm wondering... I think at this point Miguel should at least send 1 knight to the north end side. Just to deny the gold income. And what Miguel should be doing is use those crossbows as much further to the right as possible. To deny walling here from Dark. And that's exactly what he's doing right now. And he should be able to break in here pretty soon. And Dark's TC is completely cut off of Dark's economy here. Very funny to see as well.
This is like a Hwag situation right now. This is a Hwag situation. You abandon the town center. But by the way, I just want to say, Miguel, not that it's going to matter too much this game, but I love that he's already switching over to the right-hand side with the economy, another town center. It just shows that he knows how to play the map, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's also his home map, right? So I'm pretty sure he has practiced this map a lot, and I think it's just a matter of time until Miguel is successfully going to be able to push through here and trying to desperately wall this one off. Dark is, but I think it's just a matter of time here.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. The Knights and Crossbows, by the way, is just the strongest composition you can get in Castle Age, if you guys are wondering. That's why we see it in team games often, and Miguel has that. Having it in a 1v1 is such a good bonus, such a benefit here. And I like that he went also with 2 Rams, so even if in the world where Miguel cannot get into Dark's economy somehow, the Rams will kill all the houses, the stables, the town center, and Dark will be just bleeding out slowly. Yeah,
and also that's a mistake I see often, that people are... In this case, where Dark has the stone walls next to the mining camp, it looks nice, but at this point you just kill the mining camp and then you're in, right? So that's something you have to take into consideration as well when you're walling off like that.
Yeah, you really got to make sure everything's covered with stone if that's the angle you're going for. TC is going down very soon now. Monastery Siege Workshop. Now, listen, I will say, in this position, the absolute best thing you can do is Monks and Siege. Because Monk is the only unit that can ever turn the tide this drastically in the situation. And Dark does have a lot of fish boats now, so somewhat okay with the water bonus here. But he needs some miracles with the Monks right now, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. He's desperately trying to wall this off. He has a Siege Workshop now, so he will be able to hold this aggression a bit longer. But, you know, we are talking about longevity. He's using every single thing he can right now to fend this aggression off. And then meanwhile, Miguel has already expanded. He's about to build the third TC. I love what Miguel is doing right now, sniping a few more villagers. And he's just going to have such a good economy behind it as well. And the only thing Dark is hoping for right now is that his opponent is all-inning this one. But, oh boy, that's not what is the case right now.
Yeah, it's so smart. It's so easy, man. I think I make this mistake a lot. It's so easy when you're pushing to just all in and like, I'm going to kill him, and then all of a sudden your push kind of stops doing work, and then your eco at home is very fragile. Not the case here, of course. Miguel perfectly fine at home. 3 TC, 1 even on the gold and stone on the side. And I can even see Miguel expanding his push now and starting to push more on the right-hand side, where Dark has absolutely no defense, no walls even.
Yeah, exactly. It will take some time until he's going to be able to maneuver all the army onto the right-hand side. What I would love from him, and I think that's going to be something we will see from him momentarily, is him putting a castle onto the right-hand side as he wants to gain control there. And look at the TC from Dark. He's going to be expanding into Miguel's TC. So that gives Miguel even more extra vision.
And that's just Miguel would just know, like, okay, I have to make a castle here, and then all of Dark's economy is gonna go down. Miguel didn't know that Dark was there prior to this town center, so and not the best situation there for Dark. Not even getting any favors. Monk goes down.
The crossbows are playing with fire here. They could be taking a huge shot, and yes, indeed, there is a huge one. Maybe a second one as well.
Oh my!
Hera, we have the 10 archers again from Miguel.
It's like every game he's got to waste 10 archers from a winning strategical position here, giving Dark maybe a glimmer of hope. But Miguel counted TCs here. What is that? What is going on?
Oh, this is a beautiful game right now. We are having a TC rush in Castle Age.
This is like when there's a douche that's coming in late, and then you react with your own douche. This is I don't know what's going on here. It looks like Miguel is winning it though. Dark, there's not any of that smoke, and he's just gonna go back. Miguel redocking, by the way. Redocking, interesting.
Yeah, so he has 2 docks out already, and I like the move. He will be able to crack out a lot of fire ships, and Dark, he will most likely not have the economy to get that upgrade himself, and therefore. And look at how much food he has. Like, he has 5 farmers. He has a lot of fishing boats, yes. But they're going to be so inefficient.
Yeah. And they're going to die soon. I don't think the galleys are enough from Dark. I think he...
Yeah.
He's going to try to fight with some fire galleys of his own right now. But he can't really afford to fight the fire ships from Miguel. So we'll see what happens on the water here, guys. But Dark's in a lot of trouble. Which has been the theme for the past maybe 20 minutes here on the land as well. Castle from Miguel... On the spot you mentioned, 2 town centers from Dark completely negated right now, completely useless.
Yep, and these are the 2 only town centers Dark has right now, and the only thing he has going for him is the water, and I don't think that water is going to be available too long anymore. Okay, he's adding fire ships, so he's going to be able to win that. He's going for horse color right now, adding another TC to a bit of a safer spot, but literally if we look at the map, Miguel has all the land except the right-hand side corner, and Dark, he is really running out of space here.
Yeah, I almost think that the civilization on this map doesn't even matter. You don't need a water civilization on this map.
No.
You need a civilization that's like the civ. It almost doesn't matter, but you need a civilization that can just keep you flexible and can keep you with good options, because you have so many opportunities on this map to do damage or to make plays. And as you see, Miguel now, he's switching to Wrath and Archers. That forward castle, oh my god, that forward castle, that was a get out of my game castle right there.
Yeah, and we have seen 2 of those in this year set. Miguel able to clinch the victory, and you know, I'm very happy for him, because it feels like he has been not getting the tournament results which he deserves. He has very, very strong skills, And now finally, after years in the making, he's able to qualify for the top 8, and he must be extremely relieved with this one.
Very nice indeed. Yeah, I gotta mirror that. Very happy for Miguel. Super solid performance, and I can see him being in really good shape going into the top 8. Keep an eye out for him, because these are the kind of maps that top players struggle on, and Miguel seems to be super fluid on these kind of maps. So that's a good tool to have in the arsenal. Well played to Miguel. Takes the series 3-1. Congratulations to Dark, though, making it this far. Always like to say, like, don't give up. Keep the head high. He's getting closer and closer. It's not easy to crack that top 8, but he's getting closer and closer. To keep trying there, Dark. Well played, bro.
Exactly. It's all about improvement, and it feels like in this case he has stepped it up heavily, and he's still very, very young. If I'm not mistaken, 17. So I'm sure we will see a lot of improvement from him still coming, and I would not be surprised by him, or if he is going to be able to crack the top 8 in the next big tournament.
For sure. He's no Leary. He's not 14, but 17 is not too bad.